Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's arena time.
Alright, let's see what my options are. Warrior. I haven't done a warrior one yet, not in the arena. Now, I feel like warrior is a really weak class for the arena, and just to back me up, it's given me a really weak starting rare. Thanks so very much, game. Mana Addict, I don't think that's so great for me, and whenever a character is healed, that's not so great. I'll take the summoner. That was not a good start. But yeah, I feel like warrior can be good and constructed, but I don't feel like their cards are strong enough to make up for the fact that they have the most sissy-ass, useless summoner power, like hero power, out of all of the classes. It does go well with their weapon theme and stuff, but it honestly isn't that great. Out of these, I mean, the weapon is super good, but the Cruel Taskmaster is amazing, flexible. He's the man. I'm going to need some weapons for sure, so I think I'll take this one. Although the Knight would have been good too. Speaking of super good cards, not him. So I got an extra rare here. Commanding Shout, pretty awesome. This can be either a total game-winning card by, like, you get into one of those situations where you could be trading your whole army and clear the board, only now your guys stay and you draw a card. Or when it's not one of those situations, you can just cycle it and draw a card. On the other hand, Frothing Berserker is crazy strong. He makes the Ravenous Ghoul or whatever it's called look like a piece of junk. I should probably take the Shout, but I want it's so early on. I want the Berserker because he goes crazy. Like, the opponent has to get rid of him. Holy good cards all at once. I mean, this guy's good because he's functionally removal. This guy's really good with giving you that weapon for free is awesome. Slam is also awesome. Because, yeah, I mean, it's lame to use your removal card and have the target survive, but so often you have a creature that can finish it off, and you get to draw a card for it. I don't know how I can not take the Weaponsmith. I'm going to regret not having that Slam, though. Give me more Slams. Yeah, Warsong Commander is another one of those crazy guys. He's so good. Heroic Strike I'm not as fond of. I mean, yeah, it does 4, so that's pretty good, but you're taking it in the face, unless you're using it as burn directly against your opponent, in which case I don't care about it that much. Out of these guys, I'd rather have the Wolf Rider. It's a lot easier to play him in the same turn as something else that goes with it. I mean, I guess side by side, Stormwind Knight has a lot more stats for that 1 more mana, but no, the Wolf Rider just does more damage, which is kind of what you want. You can just come in and die, that's fine. Raid Leader is good. Blue World Warrior is also pretty good, as just like, he comes in and attacks and kills something, and then sometimes he combos with other stuff, because he's a creature and he could be more, but I gotta take the Ooze. Because killing your opponent's weapon is good. Wow, these choices are hard. Like, I like this guy, I never get to pick him. Because there's always something better, but I think he's good, so I don't know what's going on. Execute is, as far as I can tell, the best removal the warrior has. I would take like 4 or 5 executes if I could get them. So, as much as the weapon is amazing, I'm hoping I can have a bunch of other weapons. I'm going to go with the execute. You can hit a guy for 1, then kill it. Okay, this is interesting. So, Pirates +1/+1, I don't have any other pirates yet. Very low priority. Shield Slam, I haven't messed around with much. It deals 1 damage to 1 target, and it's only to minions. You can't use this to burn out your opponent either. 1 damage for every armor that you have. So, I mean, if you pay 3 mana, you use your passive, do this, you're getting at least 2 damage, and it could easily be more. You can't use it to burn your opponent, though. Fact is, I like Molten Giant. I think he's very good. He usually, I mean, you might not be able to play him until late game, but he's going to be very cheap by the time you can play him. So yeah, I'm looking at him as very good. He also combos very well with the Warsong Commander for one of those late game out of nowhere wins. So I'm going to take that. But Shield Slam is looking pretty good the more I think about it. Grizzly is pretty okay. Enrage. I don't have any real enraged creatures yet. I have the Frothing Berserker, but he has like a superpower. It's not the same as enrage. But yeah, deal 1 damage to a minion and give it +2 attack. That's permanent +2 attack, and it costs nothing. So you can do some crazy stuff with that. On the other hand, I'm thinking the Rampage is +3/+3. I mean, it has to be put on something that took damage and survived. That's not always that easy, but I don't know. We're going to see if I can engineer it. I might regret that. But those other cards weren't blowing me away. See, look, I never get to pick this guy, because he's good and all, but she comes out, she only costs 2, and she could be like a 4/3 easily. Or that's a 5/3 with the War Axe, or a 4/3 with my, whatever, Arathi weapon. But I think I've got to take the Warsong Commander, because those things, if you can save them up, play them with something else, you can do crazy things. I don't have a lot of taunt yet, so this guy's looking very good. As a warrior, I have some more stuff like the Rampage that could work well on this guy, but I'm going to take the Ironbeak Owl, because he solves problems, and I don't know how much of that problem solving I'm going to have. This is hard, because I need more weapons. The weapon's very good, they're very efficient, as long as your opponent doesn't immediately play an Acidu's. But Acolyte of Pain is a crazy freak. I'm going to take the Acolyte of Pain. Is it good? I don't know. Maybe not the smartest. These are both kind of weak cards. Given that, I'm going to take the Shield Block because it cycles itself. I mean, it's a little... 3 mana is a little much for something that just replaces itself, but the 5 armor is not horrible. And of course, if I had the actual like shield attack thing, that would be more interesting. My deck is... I'm halfway through my deck, and it is not very fat. Based on that, and the fact that I don't have a lot of enraged guys, I'm going to skip the Mad Bomber. I think I'm actually going to go with the Nightblade. It's kind of an iffy creature, but I need something. I would like to have this guy, but I need more, like, fat stuff. And Taunt is... especially, I don't have any Taunt yet, so... I like the Shieldmaster better than the Booty Bay Bodyguard. He costs 1 more. He only has 1 more stat, and for a Taunt guy, I'd rather have moderate attack, high defense. So, yeah. For me, it's a no-brainer. You might decide differently, and you wouldn't be wrong. Scarlet Crusader is pretty good. But no, I'm just going to take another Shieldmaster. You give him to me. Having an enraged guy might be good with some of my stuff. Rampage, I don't want to go too heavy on that because I don't have enough stuff like him that combos with it, whereas he is just actually amazing. Okay, second guaranteed rare, and again, they're not like my favorite. I mean, this guy, most pirates interact with your weapon, this guy interacts with your opponent's weapon. That's kind of dumb. I mean, arguably, removing 1 durability is most of the time as good as Acidic using it, because usually they play a weapon and attack with it right away, but no, he's not the guy. Whereas the Demolisher is always good. Could get another Warsong Commander. I already have 2 at this point, so it's not as big a deal. On the other hand, they're quite a target. I don't have a lot of damage dealing stuff for the Geomancer to work off of, and even some of the ones I have are like the Cruel Taskmaster. He's not a spell, so it doesn't count. I don't have much fatness, so the Tiger would also be good. I'm going to go with another Warsong Commander, because I'm crazy that way. Okay, I'm taking the Reaper this time. I need the... It's a very strong weapon, and the Wind Fury is not my favorite fatty. Inner Rage, not as good as Coconut. It's going faster. Okay, I have 1,000,000 Warsong Commanders. I'm okay there. The Warden would be really good. I'm going to take the Reaper, because it does 5. I don't know. Not as fond of this card. I mean, I can see how it's useful, but eh. Again, we know I don't like Heroic Strike that much. Plus, now I actually have lots of weapons, so yeah, I mean, it makes my weapon attack bigger, but yeah, whatever. For the arena, he's looking pretty good. It's hard not to take another Cruel Taskmaster, but I don't have a lot of direct damage. I'm going to want that cleave. I can't use this to whittle down a big enemy creature because it'll get bigger. So yeah, cleave. Okay, what do I have that's going to interact with the Brewmaster? Swamp Ooze, obviously. Cruel Taskmaster is the Owl. Maybe Acolyte of Pain if he's taking a little damage. Bounce him back, give it another chance. That doesn't work. A lot of charge stuff. It's Battle Cry. I'm tempted to take the Brewmaster. You get him early on, you just play him before other creatures. Fairy Dragon isn't the strongest, and I mean, I can't use some of my other stuff on it, although I could still buff it with Battle Cries. And Ogre Magi, here's the thing, I don't have that much fat. I really don't. I don't have that much to use the spell damage on, but he's almost as good as a Yeti anyhow. He's still a 4/4 for 4. I'm going to take the Brewmaster. We'll see what happens. He may save my butt sometime. Probably won't. Knifeblade or Bodyguard? I'm starting to actually have a fair amount of taunt now, right? I've got the Lord of the Arena, 2 shield masses. That's still not that much. And I've got... yeah. I've got a whole ton of Warsong Commanders. That makes him better, but it also makes the Nightblade pretty good, because that means the Nightblade's coming in doing 7 damage. I'm going to go with the Bodyguard. Make him better. I could get another Brewmaster, but no, I'm going to take the fat guy. And what is final rare? Gorehowl, or the Shield Slam, or Brawl, which is really weird. Brawl destroys all minions except one, chosen randomly. You don't know if it's going to be your minion that gets chosen, or an enemy one, though. This is kind of a situational weird sort of... I mean, yeah, it does kill most of the board, which is good in some ways, but I don't think I'm going with that. I think Gorehowl is also going to clear the board. Now I probably have too many weapons, but a lot of warriors would say you can't have too many weapons. So let's find out what happens. I've got almost as many weapons as a lot of constructed warrior decks I've faced. Although they would want to have another of the Arathi Weaponsmith, because he's amazing. Alright. Almost got a Musty Orphan.
Versus
Crack there. Warlock, okay. Warlock is a good guy to race down. Expensive. Normally I would pitch a Warsong Commander, but I have 3 in here, so I'm not as worried about keeping it alive. Oh man. All my expensive stuff. An opponent is still really thinking about it, even though he's going second and he's a Warlock, so he gets more cards anyway. Awesome. That would be good against me. If I was going second, I could do something, but I can't. Oh boy. This is not an auspicious starting hand. I mean, it doesn't say much about the quality of my deck, it's just not a good hand. Speaking of not good, this is a poor matchup, but I'm going to play it anyway, because what else am I going to do? With a random at the end of his turn. If he trades this, then he won't get the +1 health. But on the other hand, he's using a 1-cost creature to kill a larger 2-cost creature. If I were him, I'd be fine with that. He might just trade and draw a card for all I know.
I hope you like my invention.
I think I was still correct. Just drawing a card a different way. Costs the same mana. Yeah. That's definitely what I would do if I ran. Execute. I'm not unhappy to see the execute, but it's not helping this second. So let's see if the Warsong Commander dies right away. Normally they do. They're a very high priority for removal. If it doesn't, even one turn, my opponent's going to be unhappy when I drop a Shield Master, get to attack with it, and then still have a taunt creature out to protect this. He is a Warlock. He should be able to burn it down somehow, though. Just like attack and then drain life. Or straight out Shadow Bolt it. It is worth killing. It is 100% worth killing. If you can kill it in one card, you should 100% do it, no question. If it takes more than one card, I don't know.
For the king.
It's probably still worth killing, honestly. Okay, that's a little bit of a weird play. I can see why you have to think about that somewhat. But that's fine. I could execute him already. Execute is so good. Wish I had like 5 in here. Oh well. Like I said before, taunt is kind of like charge. It makes a creature work right away. In this case, he's kind of blown his load, but then again, if he attacks, then my guy will be whittled down, and then he'll be much weaker as well. It's funny how a 2/5 seems kind of strong, and then it takes 2 damage, and then it seems like, it's kind of a piddly creature. Nothing wrong with him. For some reason, I just don't like the way his stats are distributed or something.
So many possibilities.
I know, you've got lots of cards and can draw more. I would have really loved if that Warsong Commander stayed alive. Unless I draw something good, next turn I may just be playing my Arcanite Reaper. Ghoul, okay. Oh, he ran out of time. That's not good for him, because he could have traded there, and then it would have got bigger, and then I wouldn't be able to do this. This being Splat. Yeah. And then play an Arcanite Reaper. And I'm just going to hit him. I'm not as worried about his little guy. It's a 2/3. He still has to do something else in order to kill this. Now, if he has a Mortal Coil, and it lets him kill this and draw a card, I'll be mildly annoyed, but whatever. I do, when you play a weapon with, if your weapon has more than 1 durability, and as far as I know they all do, you kind of want to attack with it right away regardless, because I don't want a weapon to get, like, acid oozed while it had full durability. I'd rather attack with it against even a mediocre target than lose it for nothing. So he went to a fair amount of effort to get rid of that, which is fine, because I'm just going to play
The gates are open.
big old taunt guy and hit him for another 5. Rushing down the Warlock, I mean, he's hurting himself most turns to draw cards, or certainly he has incentive to. Make it a lot harder when I keep hitting him for 5. Boo. Unlike some other game that I was in, I'm going to remember that this guy will die at the beginning of his turn, so I'm not going to buff him or anything, that's for sure. Okay, I'm rushing him down pretty hard. I see no reason to stop that. I'm not going to cast my Arcanite Reaper because next turn I can play Gorehowl, and I'd use it now and kill the tiger, but I can't because it's stealth, so I gotta wait.
Farewell.
Let's just beat the living tar out of this guy. Take another 3. Armor up. Now he dies. That is unfortunate. My Molten Giant still costs 20. That's not a good sign for him. He has not done any damage to me at all. He has more cards and more in play, but 9 hit points is not so happy for him. Ow. Oh, it's time to start killing stuff with Gorehowl. Hey, he's getting cheaper! Now, is there any way there's a move that's better than Gorehowl? I mean, I could play the Arcanite Reaper and use it to kill those guys just as well, actually. I do have to remember I'm taking the damage in the face. This is why when I play against warriors, I always think they're being kind of silly sometimes for taking so much damage to kill things. And here I am, I'm going to do the same thing. But on the other hand, I could just keep beating my opponent down. Not with Gorehowl. That would be silly. He's going to hit me for 10, 11, 12 or something. I can play the Arcanite Reaper and the Wolf Rider and hit him for almost death.
Ready to ride. Taste my steel.
Or I could be a little bit more conservative. I don't know what he would do that would be really bad, but because I know I can just kill him with Gorehowl next turn anyway, I'm actually going to kill one of his guys. Even though that probably doesn't make any difference on what happens next turn. So he knows he's staring death in the face. His army can take out my army. But he needs to do that and play a taunt or gain some life.
I wonder.
Ew. Yes, summon a portal. I would have taken a lot of damage if I hadn't killed that other thing. This guy boosting everything. Yeah. Okay, so that kind of hurt, but I don't actually have a way to damage the Fen creature, so I can't execute it. That's kind of sad. This is actually not working out very well, somehow.
What now?
Execute, Acolyte of Pain.
I wonder.
I think I need to execute the Tiger. I hate to execute something at 1 health, but whatever. Dead is dead. I don't have a good way to get at it. Now, if I play Gorehowl, I'm giving away that I have Gorehowl. And I'm also not putting out any creatures. And I'm taking 4 damage for killing that. But on the other hand, it would still have 6 attack left next turn, which would still be enough to kill him, but he would know about it. I don't like the fact that he'd know about it. This doesn't do enough to kill that, though, and if I attacked and executed it, that would be really sad, and the other thing would still be out there, so... Oh, I hate this play. This is such a crappy play to have to do, but... Doesn't leave him much of an army, and whatever he hits me for, the Molten Giant should come out for virtually nothing. He does have to get a taunt or gain life or destroy my weapon. Unfortunately, he now knows that. And his stuff is all super cheap because of the crazy summoning portal.
To Northrend!
He's putting out a lot, but it doesn't look like he's making himself not lose. And I was correct. So it started to get a little worrisome at the end there. I mean, I was going to get my giant out for 0, but he doesn't have taunt, right? So, anyway, not the worst start, though. And we'll see how much farther I can go as a warrior next game.
If you like this, please click the eponymous button. And don't forget to subscribe to Demonac Games for more Hearthstone Arena and Scrolls Judgment videos.